Is this sponsored, James?
It's brought to you by Donuts.
Yes, Ben Lee, the Donut Critic, is here, and he's brought us a plate of various donuts from various bakeries, right?
No, this one's from the Winning Bakery.
These are all from the Winning Bakery.
All from the winner.
So we just barely crowned the basketball winner, the men's yesterday, the women's on Sunday. We're crowning the winner of the Donut Championship today.
Oh, this is the brackets that you have.
This is the bracket.
Okay.
Yeah. So we ran
How
this.
many shops did you have?
So we started out with the top 32. And that's a lot. Like a lot of states, you know, it's hard to name 32 shops. Utah actually has a really good set of donut shops.
Yeah.
But over 5 days, we whittled it down, similar to the other brackets. We went top 32, Sweet 16, Grade 8, Flavorsome 4, and then we came to the championship.
So give us the top 4 before you tell us the winner.
Okay, so top 4, and this came down to a lot of upsets, a little bit of drama, and that's what I love about it. This is my 6th year doing it. It's just grown and grown. There's thousands and thousands of voters that come in, a lot of excitement around it. But the top 4 were a little bit surprising on some fronts. So, top 4 on one side of the bracket was Lehi Bakery versus Spudley Donuts, and this is a clash of Utah County.
Yes.
Never had this in my bracket before. Utah County always just didn't represent. It was always a Salt Lake shop.
Yeah.
But Spudley Donuts is new this year. They are located in Lehi but have roots in Orem. Spud Nuts are back in Utah.
Really?
Yeah.
Potato flour.
Yeah.
I enjoyed them growing up, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're really coming back. These are really dense and delicious. And so there was a lot of fandom, a lot of excitement about that coming in. And so they did make it to the Final 4. And then on the other side of the bracket, we had Chubby Baker, which isn't surprising because
Which I love, yeah.
Yeah, she has one downtown, and then she has one in Orem, and then one coming in Sandy. And people love them. So, and she was a winner a couple of years ago. Not surprising. And then the other one that she was competing against was Donut Run, and they have locations in American Fork, Spanish Fork, and St. George.
Okay.
So decent-sized shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The winner, or I guess the winner from each side, Lehi Bakery, barely won over Spudley, and Donut Run upset Chubby Baker.
Which I'm very sad about.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a huge upset. And then between Lehi Bakery and Donut Run, Lehi Bakery really, turned it out. This is what you're tasting today.
This is Lehi Bakery.
Yeah, so it was
Very good.
in the middle of the day. It was going back and forth on lead changes, a lot of excitement, a little bit of drama, and then in the end, Lehi Bakery.
They're
pulled it
known
out.
for the square donuts.
Yep, and
that's
that's-
their thing. They're
A glazed square donut.
Yeah, they have roots all the way back to 1968, which was so surprising to me. But I knew they were a long-term bakery and something that's been in the community forever. But that's a long time.
My friend Tony lives in Lehi, and he's always telling me about the square donuts. So
Yeah.
I get to try them finally.
Yeah, so the thing that you'll notice, too, is I didn't bring in a ton of really, lots of topping donuts because I feel like what they do best is the dough.
The straight ahead.
Straight ahead dough. Yeah. And if you go with a square glaze, you're going to be very happy. Their maple bar is more of like a maple mousse. It's whipped.
Yeah.
So it's
And
really soft.
And it's more dense than most maple bars as well.
Yes. And then one of my other favorites is the buttermilk bar, which is
that's
your
what I'm
signal.
having.
Yeah, that's good.
So
Yeah,
it's
this
kind of
one.
like their take on the old fashioned, but it's just really dense and
Yeah,
delicious.
I think that's my favorite.
They have a half and half that almost with the nutmeg tastes like an eggnog donut. So if you want to taste that flavor throughout the year, that one's a pretty good one.
This berry topping is pretty good.
Yeah, so that's their donut of the month. They're starting that where they switch them out and want to liven up their menu a little bit. So that's their take on getting more flavors out there, getting you tasting their frostings and whatnot. So
This says there's new owners of that bakery.
yeah, so about 10 years ago they bought the bakery, and they've done amazing things with it. So they've actually redone the location down there and then expanded into Saratoga Springs. They opened up just like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
But the one in Lehi, it's a cool old building.
So it's actually been replaced. So they replaced with the facade and some of the red brick, but they did replace it, and it's expanded out so they can have a lot more capacity for wholesale. So
It's interesting to me that Spud Nuts are making a comeback.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, the only place you could get them was on Main Street in Provo. There's a place that's called Spud Nuts. And occasionally we'd be over there running errands, and Dad would always say to Mom, "Get me a spud nut."
When I was a kid, Spud Nuts, I believe, started in Ogden.
Tasties?
Yeah. And I was, when in the summer, a lot of kids would go down to this bakery on 7th Street in Washington, and they'd give you a wire basket and half dozen bags of Spud Nuts, and you go around and sell them.
That's awesome.
Neighbors.
Ben, that would have been your dream
That
kid
would
job.
have been my dream job. No, and funny thing, my wife actually started working in a donut shop when she was like 15 or 16. So, Tasties, Spud Nuts. So, the roots are there. The roots are there. But
Good.
Remember that guy, Chad? He tried to start it up again,
He did, yeah.
and he had it here in Salt Lake, I remember,
Just
on
a little,
21st South.
A little too soon.
I don't know. He had that tasty Spud Nut character
Tattoo.
tattooed on his arm.
yeah, there is
they were
still a
good.
Tasties up in Layton, but it's definitely not, advertised, and there's not a lot of people that know about it except for those locals. So,
Yeah.
'cause
Was there a lot of voting this year?
Yeah, thousands and thousands. This is the best year that we've had voting wise, and I love it just because I know that it encapsulates the Utah vote and what they love, and so it really represents a shop that you should go and try.
Yeah,
And that's the thing that I love about this bracket too is it's a list for you to go out and
Yeah.
try those top 32. So now go regionally, and you could start looking at all these different places to try when you're out and about.
So if you're wondering, if people want that list, where would they find it?
So it's on Donut Critic, and you can see all the different levels and how each of your favorite shops fared for each of the rounds. I'm doing a recap on donutcritic.com, so you can check back either today or tomorrow. So that's where my official recap will be.
But you're on Instagram too.
Yep, Instagram, Donut Critic, and you can read up on that. And, let me know if you have questions on any of them, because there are specific donuts that I get at each of these shops as well.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a Johnny O's Spud Nuts in Logan. Really good.
Yep.
I used to do donut runs to Lehi Bakery when I was in high school. You'd show up at 1 a.m. when he started baking, and he'd let you take the day-olds.
That's a fun take.
Yeah. Payson Market Bakery in Payson has wonderful donuts made daily from scratch. Drive a little further south and try them.
I've had those. Yep, and they are delicious.
Yeah.
What's next for the Donut Critic?
So we have the Utah Dough Show. So that's coming up in May.
Oh, yes.
I think it's May 18th, and that's at Thanksgiving Point. Tickets are going to go on sale in a couple weeks, and that's just where you can just really go out and be a donut freak with us.
Try them all. Huh?
Yeah, I actually bought the Boston donut suit that Ben Affleck had in his commercial, so I'm going to be wearing that. I don't know for how long, based on the weather, but
Yeah, it might get a little warm in May. I demand a selfie.
okay, I will.
Demand a selfie.
Ben Lee, the Donut Critic. Find him on Instagram, Facebook, all of that. And if you want to know about donuts and other edibles,
Yes.
well, edibles, I don't think
Yeah,
you
you
shouldn't say edibles.
we'll explain
Other
that
things
later.
to eat.
Local treats. Local treats.
Other things to eat.
There you go.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you all.
Ben.